Oh, this is. I just bounced the FV. Pretty noob in the game to feel like he's a real player. What just happened over here? So it does seem that the oh has got himself stuck in this position. I mean, this tank in a tire, when it's top tire, will absolutely shred its enemies. And I went to help this IS over here. I see that there's a Tiger 131 who has actually managed to pen me over here. But I did slap him pretty hard in return because the gun has 440 alpha and the reload time is pretty good as well. Wanted to help his body. Those two heavies have been actually fire at the low. The low tries to flank or to angle a little bit, but that's not gonna happen over here. The RT wants to help us, but he manages to only, as usual, splash me. And then I just finish up the low. And there's also a Super Hell Kitty who just let me know that there's more snacks in these woods. Yeah, I just go along the bushes, see where the snacks is located. There's no issue. The Hell Kitty takes a big hit in the face, and then he tries to reverse, but yeah, it's a bit too late. The Hell Kitty is never gonna reverse properly in time. So let's take a look at this tank's stats. So the Defender is basically the most overpowered tank that was introduced, although the most has changed over time. But at the time it was introduced, it was probably after the Patriot and the Liberté. When this tank was introduced, everybody gasped in shock and awe, because this tank had basically the gun of a Tier 9, better penetration than the IS-3, it had good average damage per minute, with dispersion, which isn't that much of an issue because the tank has the armor to actually stand against most enemy tanks at close range, especially if you're top tier, then you will wreck other tanks. You do have some great aim time for a Russian tank at least. You have just enough gun depression to actually make the tank work, serviceable gun traverse speed, and then also you do have a chunky amount of hit points, really sloped hull armor that will bounce a lot of shots. Then you have a really strong turret. The weak points on top can be penned decently well if the enemy know how to fire and has enough pen, but you can hide them. If you're, let's say, above someone and use that 6 degrees of gun depression, you can do that pretty nicely. So yeah, you also have decent enough specific power to move around without having any kind of issues and getting to that 35 kilometers top speed. You're a heavy tank, you can ram people if you manage to do so. The camo isn't the worst, and also with some coated optics you can get the view range to over the 445, which is the spotting distance. And also this camo scheme looks pretty nice. I got my skill over here, my King Baboon, because yeah, he's a pretty good commander. You can get brother in arms, some sound detection because the RT used to be a pretty annoying thing for the tank. Then the repairs should be pretty high on the list for this tank. Maybe try and also improve the mobility if you can, just a little bit. And other than that, save stowage, adrenaline rush, maybe the armor if you want to, then the jack of all trades I got over here, the mentor to get everybody just a little bit over the limit, and so on and so forth. On the equipment side, let me put me out of the way for a second. You have the field modifications with improving the mobility just a little bit. Then you have the aim gears lapping, which is basically improving the aim speed just a tiny touch. And also the view range, because the tank has the weakest point of the tank is the view range, but as you see with the coated optics, this can work pretty well. You could also go for some volt stabs in the tank, although I do think that the vents should be higher on the priority list, because you need to see who's shooting at you at least, and then go over there and teach them a lesson. Over here is the easiest part to pen. Then you have some big tracks that can absorb some damage. The side is pretty weak, but it's also a bit sloped, and yeah, the shape of the turret is pretty decent. You won't really get pen in a turret unless there's gonna be a really high pen enemy tank. So, hey guys, today I want to show you a replay that I had in the Object 252U, or the Defender, how most people know it. Tier 8 Soviet premium tank. This tank in a tire, when it's top tire, will absolutely shred its enemies, and most of the opposing tanks won't really have what to do against it, especially if it's in a situation such as this one, where there are a lot of tier 6s and a few tier 7s, and there's only I guess 3 tier 8s per team. So this is the ideal situation for the object, or for the Defender. Now I waited until I got the confirmation that there were a few tanks spotted over there. Usually I am a bit more cautious when I play in World of Tanks, because I do like to at least assess the situation first. But then I realized that, wait a minute, I'm a top tier tank in the Defender. Why should I stay back? I shouldn't. And then I went to help this IS over here, and trying to put a bit of pressure on the enemies. I see that there's a Tiger 131 who has actually managed to pen me over here, but I did slap him pretty hard in return, because the gun has 440 alpha, and the reload time is pretty good as well. Now the 131 seems to have a friend over here, which wanted to help his buddy, but against a Defender in a tier 6 tank with a Tiger with an underpowered gun, and having 3 Russian heavies firing at you, that's never gonna end well. So, due to the fact that those 2 heavies have been actually removed from the field, I decided to push on and took out the Churchill. Then I'm basically trying to see whether I can also fire at the low. The low tries to flank or to angle a little bit, but that's not gonna happen over here. The RT wants to help us, but he manages to only, as usual, splash me, and then I just finish up the low over here. I do manage to spot the 30, which is over there enjoying life. And I do want to see him and be able to actually fire at him. Finally he fired, and then I see him behind the bush, and then the gun, the Russian gun, who most of the time treats you very nicely, at this time decided to not be as pleasant with me. But the 40 is a big target, so the next one goes in, and then yeah, he's basically dead at this point. So I did manage to get a little bit of spotting assistance with the fact that I had tracked the 40 over there, and I'm in 2 minds. Should I go after the IS or not? Now I decided I need to reverse a little bit, because there aren't any kind of other tanks from our team in support. Just put the game to action, wait until it's properly aimed, and then yeah, remove the IS from the game. As you saw, up until this point I haven't fired any kind of premium rounds. Now I do think that there might be some other enemies over here, and I do spot the Hummel, which is trying to run away after firing at us unsuccessfully, but that didn't help him. And there's also a Super Hell Kitty, who just let me know that there's more snacks in these woods. Now I just tried to be a bit overzealous and to go towards the end of the field, just to make sure that there isn't any other tank hidden in the bushes, although he probably would have fired by now, so it was a bit moot. And yeah, I just go along the bushes, see where the snacks is located, and then have a chat with him. On the other side, also our team is winning pretty hard, so there's no issue. The Hell Kitty takes a big hit in the face, and then he tries to reverse, but yeah, it's a bit too late. The Hell Kitty is never gonna reverse properly in time, so I just finish him up. He should have just run away if he wanted to run. Don't just reverse in front of a heavy tank. The best you can do is try and flank him, and maybe you can turn his gun around and make him miss like that, with the better over speed of a heavy tank. Now I try and also snapshot or aim at the T50-2, but that's a Whiskies who's running around the field, so I can't really do too much to him. And yeah, I just now successfully try and hit him again. But as you saw in a little over 5 minutes, the defender manages to do 4.2k damage and also block 1000. So it's a really nice tank to bully lower tires, I guess, which it always was. I think it's gonna probably always will be. So now let's go to the game post-game stats and talk a bit more about the game. Final game stats. I gotta say that the defender is just as overpowered against lower tires as it always was. This is one of those tanks that Wargaming, when they introduced it, they just didn't care. They took basically an IS-3, they combined it with an IS-7 and a little baby with an IS-4 as well, and they basically came up with this monstrosity at tire 8. This tank is just too good. Even now, even today. Against lower tires, they just can't pen you. I got a top gun, a high caliber, and also cheeky brother arms for killing 6 enemies and basically rolling up the entire flank. If there would have been 10 enemy tanks over there, it would have been the same result if there were still lower tires. First on damage, first on experience, 14 shots, 12 direct hits, 11 pens. I mean, what more do you want from a tank? 250k profit. So yeah, if you do want to make a lot of credits, this is another overpowered tank that will basically serve you really well. Hey guys, today we're gonna have a game in Defender, which at the time of this introduction took the world of tanks by storm. It was basically a tank that was better than all the previous Soviet premiums at tire 8, and better than the Tech 3 tank, the IS-3 and the IS-6B, and every other Russian tank that had been introduced so far in the game. This basically was a tank that allowed you to fire with its 225 pen some shots in, and you didn't even need, like in other previous Russian premium tanks, you didn't need any premium rounds. So it was pretty good. Oh, this is, I just bounced an FV tank, which is yeah, a bit hilarious over here. Was it our FV? No, the enemy FV, but why don't I see it as a bounce over there? That's a bit weird. Right, so as I was saying, this is the tank that basically allowed every noob in the game to feel like he's a real player. And you didn't need to know how to play the game. You just sat in your big tank in the middle of the field, everybody would see you and nobody would be able to pen you. What just happened over here? So it does seem that the Oh-Ho-Ho has got himself stuck in this position. I mean, I kind of see stuff like this each and every day. And now I did take a big hit from the E50, which isn't the best thing that could have happened. And now there's some weird people playing extremely aggressive for no particular reason. I don't know what this game is. I'm trying to do tank review over here, folks. Alright, so before I was rudely interrupted by some lights just going like crazy around the field. I was saying that this tank is a pretty overpowered tank, at least in the tier 8 tanks against lower tires. At tier 7 the armor doesn't feel as good, and you'll get banned pretty easily by today's really high pen guns. The one thing that the tank is still good at is the fact that it has enough penetration to go through a lot of enemy tanks without firing gold. Now there's a new kid on the block, that Hori. I'm surprised I didn't saw it. That thing is as big as a barn. But again, this tank doesn't really have such good view range. Can I actually see this? Anybody care to shoot at him? That would be lovely. Now he finally got shot at. There's this Obsidian who has taken a keen interest in me, so it's at least natural for me to spot him. That little teammate. What was thinking? I do not know. And of course. Right, so it does seem that we're under a lot of pressure and my team is currently losing pretty badly at that. Can I actually see him? And there's also the Obsidian over here as well. I don't like the way this game looks like. I don't really have any kind of HP left in order to be able to fight, at least semi-effectively. Hey, Hori, you got me once. Chill. Chill, mate. Don't do that anymore. That is a pretty nice tank, but at some point those the new Japanese tanks aren't as good starting from tier 9 onwards, because the armor doesn't help you as it previously used to, and people are a lot better over here. Now there's also this guy on this side who I think might be able to just come over the hill and kill me at any time he chooses. There's also this E50 that I bounced off of. Yeah, I'm not gonna just go over here. Like I said, this guy can absolutely wreck my day. So I just need to chill. I'm surrounded by enemy tanks, I can't really go anywhere. But at least I can spot a little bit. Hopefully. And maybe get at least a little bit of extra spotting and maybe an extra shot or two. Yeah, the E50 keeps on spotting me over there. I'd love it if someone would be able to actually fire towards his position or see what happens over here. If there wasn't any Hori on that side, I would have taken a peek over here and tried to shoot at those guys. As it stands, I'm not gonna do that. I just need to be patient. This is a game of patience in Redshire, which is not exactly what I envisioned in a defender. But still, the tank is able to, like you saw over here, spot if you use some coated optics with it. It can do a bit of damage and yeah, just in general have a pleasant experience in the tank. Can I fall back just a tiny bit? Maybe see if I can get an angle towards those guys. Because if I do manage to get unspotted, I might be able to get a few shots in towards the middle of the field. These bushes should be able to at least allow me just a tiny bit to stay safe. This is a tricky game, I'm not gonna lie. I don't have any kind of XP left, I might get spotted at any time, so yeah, not exactly the best situation in this tank. I hope that the concept or anybody can advance a bit and hello. We have an IS-4 which might be a bit more aggressive than it would be useful to him. I do see this other object over here as well. Holy, the tank is not accurate at all. I can't argue with that. It's just not. You can't hit pixels or anything like that. Can I? Okay, okay, now we're talking. Hello. Hello. No. That was unfortunate. Now the E50 does want to go into play. Oh, come on. No, 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 no. Run away! I feel like in Monty Python when you have to run away. Come on, E50. You wanna do it? You wanna just see? Yeah, this is a dead IS-4 over here, hopefully. Let's relocate just a tiny touch. Kinda wanna spot him, but I kinda don't. No, RP. Well, this will get your blood pressure up, for sure. Shoot him! Okay, so just staying in the game might help me make this tank work. It's not the best tank you'll ever see, but sometimes, just sometimes, it might work. Just a tiny touch you need to... Perfect. So Art is gonna zero in on me again, because that's what artists do. But yeah, the Defender in a tier 10 game, still not bad. Still not a bad tank. Let's see if we can actually spot this IS-4, or did he withdraw for a little bit? Can we get an encore, guys? Okay, now is the time to actually push that pedal to the metal. No, 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 no. Let us just stay over here and make the enemies pay. Hopefully. But unfortunately there wasn't anybody to actually shoot at this guy. So now I'm just a tiny touch stuck over here. Can anybody, I don't know, spot those guys over here? That would be lovely. I'm waiting for the convoy to actually spot this. This is TRV before I do a move. Hopefully he has relocated. We don't need to push because there's only a minute left. Okay, this guy's dead. Come on, defender, you can do it. 50 seconds left. Let's go. "40 seconds. Okay. Oh, come on, gun. Why are you so cringe? "20 seconds left. Let's go. Come on, boys. Just chill. Okay, so good tank in the good game in the defender. I'd say, yeah, the tank can work if you do play it smart. You're not the biggest, baddest tank when you're playing entire 10, so you need to play it patiently and carefully. You get a patrol duty in a defender. That means that this tank can and did actually spot the defender for you guys. The tank that can do it all. It can get a lot of experience. It can do a bit of damage as well. It will do some really nice profit furthermore. And yeah, I do think that even in the tier 10 game, if it's not the biggest, baddest dog, it's still a good tank. In lower tiers, this tank is completely overpowered and broken, as it previously was. In higher tiers, you need to play a bit smarter. Just don't overexpose yourself, and yeah, just try and anticipate where the enemies are, and be in their proximity. And sometimes you'll get patrol duty in the defender. In this case, if you did enjoy the today's 2 games in the defender, I suggest you check out some other content that I have on other tanks, such as the Skoda or the Tiger, or even the tank that you've never played that I recently added to my channel. You should see a link towards those as well. And yeah, thank you very much for sticking to the end. And if you did enjoy it, maybe consider a like or a subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye now.